Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello and welcome. I'm Nick from Top Notch Sports, and today we're going to be discussing the Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. We got a Chiefs guy. We got a Bengals guy. We got a bunch of moderators, guys that are in between. Raiders, Giants, Niners. Everybody here to talk about this game. Huge game, huge implications. Some guys are in the injury report. Okay, we got some big questions. Let's start right away. We're going to start with, we'll start with Jackson, okay, our Chiefs guy. What do you think, first things first, about this game? What are some points you want to mention?
Well, first things first, I'd like to go down some notable injuries here. First, Travis Kelce was added on to the injury report today with a back injury. McCole Hardman is still questionable with a pelvic injury. And then today, Justin Watson was also added to the injury report. And then we all know about Patrick Mahomes, but the word is he is good to go. He's walking just fine. He's putting weight on his ankle. The rematch from last year's AFC Championship game, which the second half was an absolute offensive collapse for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think it was 2 interceptions, second half in overtime. Defense couldn't make a stop. It was a 21-3 ball game. And that game went wrong, in my opinion, at the end of the first half where they ran the goal line play. And just went downhill from there. But that was last year. This is this year. Got a whole new team. This is a Tyreek Hill-less Chiefs. But you can say maybe their offense has gone better without Tyreek Hill. And the keys for the victory for the Chiefs I got here is, like I said, it's going to be 20-yard plays. So you got to keep pushing the ball down the field and keep pressure on a secondary that's kind of weak for the Bengals. They're down Awuzie for the season. That was a couple months ago, I'm pretty sure. And Eli Apple, I think, is one of the worst corners I've ever seen. So keep pushing the ball down the field. And I think you got to keep Mahomes in shotgun. We saw he kind of struggled under center, which I think might be a problem for the Chiefs because this year they kind of transitioned to, let Mahomes get under center. We're going to use 2 tight ends, and we're going to work off play action. We're going to pound the rock with Pacheco. But I wonder how they'll be able to do that now if they're going to need to keep Mahomes in shotgun for most of the game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to come in here with Mahomes under center. I agree with you on that. I was watching the game with an ankle injury, right? We all saw the ankle injury, high ankle sprain on his plant foot. As a coach, I was telling Jackson, I was telling you the story before when my player got dislocated finger. You got to make adjustments, right? And I didn't mention to you the second game when he had the dislocated finger, we had to do our entire game out of shotgun because he couldn't put his hand under center to take the snaps, right? So now everything's from the shotgun position. Same thing with Mahomes here. And I wrote you that. I made a tweet on Twitter, right? I posted on Instagram. When that happened, immediately the first thing I thought in my head was they're going to have to make an adjustment. You can't expect him to be under center, right? And then take the drop back. And especially doing you saw him keep on doing the stretch.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't hand the ball.
No. So that's a huge adjustment. And again, now that's going to work towards the Cincinnati Bengals. So real fast, before we go back to you, Jackson, I'm going to let Ashton go. Ashton, what do you think? What are a few points here that you want to mention about the Cincinnati Bengals real fast before we keep going back and forward here?
Well, the offensive line is one point I want to have. Alex Kappa and Jonah Williams out, left tackle and right guard. The Bengals played with them last week, but obviously Von Miller was out, so it didn't really matter. But we just need to block. I mean, one rookie, another undrafted rookie, and just a bunch of young players on the line. I mean, Ted Karras is good, but he's really the only veteran on the O-line. And then you got we have a good running back duo. I mean, we used it last year, Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon against the Chiefs. I mean, we just really need to get Jamar Chase the ball in his hands because he's top 5 in yards after catch. He just gets the ball, just runs. And then I think that what Jack said, I think our Bengals secondary is really weak. It really is without Chidobe. But I think he's really underrating the fact how Eli Apple is good. I really hate him. I really hate everything he talks about. But Eli Apple, he makes big plays, but sometimes he makes horrible plays, and it's too even. I don't like it. I don't like that about Eli Apple. But our safety duo is amazing. We got Dax Hill right behind him. And we got Cam Taylor-Britt as a rookie, second round. I really like him. He's aggressive. He doesn't he never lets the play end. Like last week, he got burnt by Gabriel Davis, and he completely started bursting to him and made the incompletion. One game against the Titans this year, Derrick Henry on a screen. He was inside the 5, and he forced a fumble. Unfortunately, Traylon Burks got the fumble recovery in the end zone, but still, he never lets the play end, and I love that about him. But one thing I think is a big factor about this game is the Bengals D line. I think we need to stop Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he's having an explosive year, and then Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, they're all good run defenders. We have an amazing run defense, and then without Patrick Mahomes being able to run around in the pocket like he did last year, it's going to be really hard for him to get out of the pocket. So I think we might get a few sacks this game. And the linebackers, I mean, Logan Wilson is all right, but really kind of weak right there, except Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. But yeah.
No, I agree with you. A lot of the points that you make are big points to look at. Again, look, this Bengals offense is one of the most potent offenses in the NFL. Between Chase, Boyd, right? Boyd's still healthy, right? I'm not going nuts.
Yeah.
Right? You got Boyd. T. Higgins, who I think is a phenomenal. I think he'd be a receiver one on 90% of NFL rosters. There's nothing he can't do between his speed, his height, his physicality, his ability to run after I think T. Higgins is an absolute monster in my opinion. You mentioned Joe Mixon, you mentioned Samaje Perine, the defense. I mean, you got two great, defensive ends, and Sam Hubbard and oh man, what's his name?
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. I'm sorry. Two great guys. Your line, but like you said, honestly, Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt. I'm a Raiders fan. I watched Jermaine Pratt pick off Carr in the playoffs last year. He's not a bad coverage linebacker, from an outsider. And Dax Hill, like you mentioned before, Dax Hill to me, one of my top ranked safeties at what was that, 2 years ago now? Everything starts to get a little bit mixed up when you do guys. So, all right. I mentioned my 2 cents. We know about the Chiefs. I'm going to talk about the Chiefs in a little bit, but first I want to get to Curtis. Curtis, as an outsider, like me, like Tony, like Greg, what do you think about these teams? What are some things that you're looking at here?
Okay, so the first thing that I would really look into and think that it has a big effect on the game would be Mahomes' injury. Just a big part of Mahomes' game. There's 2 things that really stick out for me, and one that's his playmaking ability and his arm. And without his ability to move around in the pocket and get outside, get away from pressure, and make plays happen off script, I think that that's going to have a really, really bad effect on their offense. I think they still will be able to put up points and they'll be able to compete. I just think that it's just going to be a lot harder for them, and I think that the Bengals are going to actually end up winning this game. I think Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback. Arguably, I'm very much contemplating whether or not I want to put him above Josh Allen. He's a really good quarterback, and their offenses can go back and forth with any other team in the league. And I honestly, the only real offensive holes that they have is their offensive line. But I mean, Joe Burrow makes up for that tenfold. So
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, real fast. I'm going to go to Tony real fast, and I just saw Ray get back, so we're going to try to keep this fast now. We're going to go a little bit fast around the horn. Tony, what do you think about this game?
What do I think? Well, I think, as everyone's saying, it just comes down to, can Patrick Mahomes do what Patrick Mahomes can do? That injury is going to weigh him down. And personally, I think with this being, the AFC Championship, I don't think he's going to let the injury drag him down. I think he's going to try doing everything he can possibly to push through it. So
Absolutely.
But then the Bengals, like I said, there's not really, they got their weak spots, like we said, on defense, and then their offensive line is atrocious. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like I really have no opinion, because I don't know. If I had to pick, I would have to pick the Chiefs. But the Bengals are, they were in the Super Bowl last year. They're hungry for it, So
Absolutely. So let me go to Greg real fast. Greg, Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, you don't got to give me your prediction yet. We'll do that at the very end.
Oh no,
but
no, no. It's like
I'm
here's the
talking
thing
points.
with them. I really like the freaking Cincinnati team. You know, they got high powered everywhere. They're pretty stacked no matter where you look at it. But in this game coming up, it's looking more as if it's gonna be like a Chiefs game. You know what I mean? Like it's either gonna be high scoring or it's gonna be like a grueling match. You know, that's like the best thing about like these two matchups right here. It's either gonna be really good or it's gonna be like, wow, these defense are playing better than they ever have, or like stuff like that. But no, definitely, I'm going in for the Chiefs on this one.
Real okay. All right. Listen, I'm not doing any side yet. One other thing I want to talk about before we do our final predictions. Okay. We talked about everything. There's one quick point real fast. I want to ask Jackson real fast before we switch gears. I got written down. He said last year there was a second half collapse. I want to ask you, was that just a failure by the offense, or was it the enemy? Was it Reed? How do you feel that? I mean, why won't that happen again? I mean, again, if I'm not mistaken, Burrow has had the Chiefs number.
Yes, he's 3-0. You know, they're calling it Burrowhead Stadium right now, which is, I mean, whatever, I guess. I think it has a lot to do with, I think I'm going to say coaching, because I remember after, I think it was a couple weeks, they had like the headsets. They had the script, and it just looked like there was a lot of arguing between the coaches, a lot of arguing with Mahomes about what the play call should have been on that first half, end of the half. And then it just was an absolute collapse in the second half. So I'm going to blame it on the coaching staff, really. But Andy Reid's going to have his guys together. We know what Andy Reid is. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And, yeah, we're just going to see what happens.
All right, I just want to touch on that real fast. And again, a guy that's rising up the board right now is Zach Taylor. I mean, he did turn around this team. They got a lot of talent, All right, real quick thing, though, too. I just want to read over some numbers. Then we're going to go into one more quick debate that's been going around the league lately. A lot of media has been picking up. I want to hear everyone's opinion, and then we'll do predictions. Real fast, quick numbers. Chiefs right now, according to what I looked at, they're ranked number 1 in offensive points per game, number 1 in offensive yards per game. They're the number 5th ranked defense in points per game and number 12th ranked defense for yards per game. So all in all, I mean, if you look at points per game, they rank top 5 in both sides of the football. In yards per game, they rank number 1 in offense, like I said, number 12 in defense. So again, all that matters is points. Are you holding teams to field goals? And it looks like the Chiefs have been doing pretty good this season. And again, you got to give a lot of that to Spagnuolo. He's been doing a phenomenal job since he's been there with them. Cincinnati, they rank number 22 in defensive points per game, according to this number I got here. Again, I believe these numbers are right. Number 2 in defense yards per game, number 8 in offensive points per game, and number 15 in offensive yards per game. So again, you're looking at a top probably 10 score. It's definitely top 8 scoring offense and a top 2 in defensive yards per game, but they're letting up a lot of points. And against a Chiefs team, you got to kind of, put this in question. Now, again, Mahomes is hurt, so we got to take that into consideration. Before we go into our final takes and our predictions on the game, there's been a huge thing going around. If Joe Burrow beats Kansas City, does he dethrone? Does he claim the crown of Patrick Mahomes? I'm going to go around one person at a time. Give me a quick, maybe 30-second segment. Yes or no, and why? And then after that, I'll wrap up with my thoughts, and then we'll do our predictions. So real fast, we'll start with Ashton again. What do you think?
No. I think winning is a team accomplishment. I don't think that Burrow will be better than Mahomes until at least he wins a Super Bowl or gets an MVP season. I just think that's something I think. But Burrow is top 2, maybe 3 quarterback. It's arguable, but Mahomes is just he's accomplished more in the league. It's no doubt. I don't think he'll be dethroned for at least 2 or 3 years.
I like it. Good take. Curtis, what do you think?
There's zero. This game will not have any kind of effect on that. It's, if anything, it gives me Manning and Brady vibes. Brady won most of those games between those two, but Manning was obviously the better quarterback. Mahomes is far and away the best quarterback in the league. I think the distance between 1 and 2 is significantly more than 3 and 4. And that's because I have Mahomes, and then there's Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. I think Burrow can make a case to where he could be better than Allen, but the distance between Mahomes and them it's too significant for me.
I love it. Great take. Jackson, what do you think?
Once he gets the ring on his finger, that's when I'll start considering it. But Mahomes is going to win his second MVP. You look at any quarterback stat, Mahomes is the first one to every one of them. It's
Yeah.
so
Good. Tony.
Well, I again, like Jackson said too, like he's got to get the Super Bowl ring. And I'm going to add on to that. I think he's got to at least win one MVP too. Mahomes already has one,
he's getting two.
has the MVP. He's got two. He's got two. Oh, yeah,
He's
that's
going to
right.
win two this year.
He's going to win two. All right. Yeah. But, Super Bowl and MVP, you can't just win you can, again, like Burrow can beat Mahomes all he wants every game. But until he wins that Super Bowl and MVP, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yep. Greg.
I think there's definitely some areas where he can definitely get into that conversation pretty quick. I mean, yeah, he needs that Super Bowl for sure. I think that solidifies. But I don't know if you're gonna look at like to say, oh, who's better if you look at stats or whatever. Because like if you look at Tom Brady, Tom Brady's not like always the best with stats. He's been around for so long. Yeah, now he's finally taking over like most of the records, whatever. But like both of these two guys have been here for what, 5 years now? Once for 3, the other one's for 5, I think, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to put like stats together, put the first 3 years there, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty comparable, except for Joe Burrow's first year, which that was awful. Like he was hurt like halfway through, right? That's what it was. Yeah, that's brutal. But if you try comparing like that, I think it's gonna be closer than what you think. If he goes out and he gets the Super Bowl, I definitely think it's up for conversation. And I definitely think now it's gonna be over. He's gonna have to be over like Josh Allen. You can say their talent it might be better, but like who's a better QB? The guy that wins the games, gets Super Bowls and stuff like that. I think that's where it comes down.
Greg's going on to my argument. He knows what I'm going to argue. And I'm going to actually go back to Curtis' argument. I think that Curtis made a great argument saying, comparing, Brady with Manning, and look, I look at it differently. Everyone wants to look at statistics and accolades and stuff. I'm looking at it from a talent perspective. Mahomes has a leg on almost everybody, right? His talent is there. When I think about this, and again, I'm not saying that anyone's wrong for thinking about by Super Bowls or whatnot. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Greatest, in my opinion, is accolades, Super Bowl rings, MVPs, that stuff. But I can't sit here and say that Tom Brady is the best quarterback, most talented quarterback of all time. I mean, I can name 10 quarterbacks right now that I feel like are more talented than Brady. And going back to Action's argument before too, it's not, a single player that wins you a game. Mahomes can absolutely carry this team. Burrow can absolutely carry this team. It's a collective unit. So to win those accolades, you need to, the players around you. With all that being stated, okay, to me, Mahomes' talent is here. Burrow's here, man. Burrow's right there. Burrow doesn't, when you just look at the thing, is Burrow as mobile? No. Is Burrow have the playmaking ability? No, but he's pretty dang good when you compare. It's not as to par with Mahomes, but it's close, and to dethrone him, he may end up having more accolades and he might be the Tom Brady to Mahomes. Who knows, right? If he ends up getting 10 Super Bowls and Mahomes has 5, I'm just throwing out random numbers. This isn't going to happen, but then we can say, all right, yeah, Burrow was the greatest of all time, or a greater quarterback accolades wise than Mahomes, but Mahomes is still more talented. So I don't think that this game, especially with Mahomes being hurt, I can't say that this is going to dethrone Mahomes, considering there's an injury. If they were both at the top of their game and it was to happen, you can debate it. But with the injury being there, I can't debate it. I just don't feel like it's fair to say, oh, yeah, if Burrow wins this game, Mahomes, gets dethroned. All right, final thing, predictions. I'm going to start with the two fans. Ashton, what's your prediction? You give me a points prediction, too. Screw it. Points, who wins, and again, if your guys' team win, I'll bring you on next week, too, and we'll talk about the Super Bowl. So go ahead. Ashton, what do you think?
All right, I got it's going to be I think 27. No, I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna say 30 to 24.
That is funny because I'll go to mine at the very end. Jackson, go ahead. Wait, Bengals, right, Ashton, for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bengals.
Jackson.
Look, I think this game will be won in the secondary, which also makes me believe this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a game where both teams put up in the 30s. I got Chiefs 38-35.
All right. Curtis, one of our moderators. We're all moderates here. What do you think?
That's tough. I think that it will be a shootout as well. I think that the Bengals are going to come out on top, though. I would say it's going to be around 38-35. Like, yeah, it's going to be a high scoring game. That's for sure.
Tony.
Well, I'm gonna go with 41-38 Chiefs.
All right. Greg.
Now, when you're saying about all the like Patrick Mahomes injury and everything, just thinking about the Bengals, how they don't have Alex Kappa, how they don't have Jawan Williams, you know, I'm definitely leaning more now towards Kansas City. I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm thinking it's gonna be like 38-30. I think that's probably where I'm going.
Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
All right. My prediction. The reason why my jaw dropped when Ashton said it is 30-24 Cincinnati wins by 6. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Real fast, another thing, I want to have you guys shout yourselves out. Jackson, you don't have anything, but Ashton, real fast, what's your Instagram page? It's a phenomenal page. What is it again?
Bengals_today.
Okay, and then Curtis, what is yours?
Mine is 49ers.scouting on Instagram as well.
Awesome. Both got, I'll tell you, phenomenal pages. If you guys tune back again to a future video, again, we're going to be doing mock drafts and stuff. We're going to do a 32 GM content creator mock draft. I think it's going to be really cool with these guys. So stay tuned, follow their pages, and we got a lot more coming. See you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.